Ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully, because what I'm about to say may sting at first. It may cut deep, but sometimes the truth has to cut before it can heal. The reality is this: nobody cares about you as much as you think they do. I know, harsh, isn't it? But don't shrink back. Don't let discouragement creep in, because I promise you, this truth is not here to break you. It's here to set you free. From the time we were children, we were conditioned to crave applause, to seek validation, to look outward for our worth. We wanted our parents' approval, our teachers' praise, our friends' acceptance. And today, that craving has been magnified 100 times over. Social media tells us that if nobody's watching, if nobody's liking, if nobody's commenting, we don't matter. But let me rip the curtain down. That is a lie. Here's the truth. People are too busy with their own lives to constantly care about yours. They've got their own problems, their own dreams, their own struggles. They might clap when you succeed, they might shake their heads when you stumble, but after that, they go back to their own battles. And that's not a tragedy, it's an opportunity. Because when you finally realize this, when it sinks into your bones, you'll understand something powerful. Your life, your dreams, your future. It's all on you. No one is going to carry your dream. No one is going to fight your battles. No one is going to wake up every morning with fire in their chest for your vision. That responsibility belongs to you, and you alone. And let me tell you, that is the most liberating truth you will ever hear. Why? Because if nobody else is holding the key to your destiny, then guess what? You hold it. Stop waiting for someone else to notice you. Stop waiting for approval, permission, or applause. Stop letting your energy bleed out, hoping someone will come along and validate your worth. They won't, and that's okay, because you don't need them. What you need is you, your belief, your fire, your persistence. This is the moment you take the weight off everyone else's shoulders and put it back where it belongs. On your own. This is the moment you stop whining, stop complaining, stop blaming the world for not cheering loud enough, and you start clapping for yourself. Because here's the raw truth. The only person who cares enough about your dream to see it through is staring back at you in the mirror. And when you embrace that, when you stop chasing external validation, you unlock something unstoppable. Suddenly, you stop living for their approval and start living for your purpose. Suddenly, you stop fearing their judgment and start trusting your own voice. Suddenly, you stop waiting for permission and you start moving boldly, fiercely, relentlessly. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the harsh truth that will set you free. Nobody cares about your dream as much as you do, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Because your dream wasn't given to them, it was given to you, so carry it, protect it, fight for it, every single day, even when nobody claps, even when nobody's watching, even when nobody cares. Because one day, when you've built what you were destined to build, when you've reached the summit of the mountain, everyone said was impossible, those same people will look at you in awe. They'll ask, "How did you do it? How did you keep going?" And you'll smile because you'll know the truth. You didn't need them. You only needed you. This is your wake-up call. This is your freedom. Stop waiting. Stop asking. Stop begging. Take control. Believe in yourself. Start today. Because if nobody else cares, then you must care enough for yourself. And that is more than enough. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about one of the greatest traps of our generation, the illusion of validation. We all want to matter. It's human nature. Deep inside, we crave recognition. We crave someone to look at us and say, "I see you. I value you. You are enough." And in today's world, that craving has been amplified to dangerous levels. Every time you open your phone, every time you scroll through social media, the world screams at you, "You're not enough unless you're seen. You're not enough unless you're acknowledged. You're not enough unless you're liked, followed, and applauded." But let me tell you the raw truth. That is an illusion, a lie, a trap. Do you know what validation really is in today's society? It's nothing more than a fleeting moment, a double tap, a view, a passing nod. And the second it's given, it's gone. People move on, forget you, scroll past you, and yet we've built our entire self-worth on this fragile, disappearing smoke. That's why so many people feel empty even when they're surrounded by likes, comments, and attention. Because validation from the outside will never fill the emptiness on the inside. Let me ask you, how many times have you achieved something, shared it proudly, and then found yourself disappointed because the applause wasn't loud enough? Because the recognition wasn't as big as you expected? That's the trap. That's the illusion. You're measuring your worth with someone else's ruler. You're defining your value with someone else's opinion. And listen to me, if you keep chasing that, you will never feel enough. Because there will always be someone who ignores you. There will always be someone who criticizes you. There will always be someone who doesn't care. Here's the truth you need to burn into your soul. External validation is a drug. The more you crave it, the weaker you become. The more you depend on it, the less power you have. So what's the antidote? It's simple. You stop chasing the applause. You stop living for the eyes of others. You stop seeking their approval, and you start building your own. Because let me tell you, the only validation that truly matters is the one you give yourself. The day you can look in the mirror and say, I'm proud of me. I'm enough. I'm strong. I'm building something real. That's the day you become unstoppable. Listen, when you live for validation, you're a prisoner. Your confidence rises and falls with the opinions of strangers. But when you live from conviction, your own inner fire, then you are free. Free to create. Free to dream. Free to fail and rise again. Think of the greatest leaders, inventors, artists, visionaries the world has ever known. Do you think they waited for validation? Do you think they paused and said, I'll only start when people believe in me? Absolutely not. In fact, most of them faced the opposite. They faced rejection, ridicule, and resistance. But they pushed forward anyway. Why? Because their conviction was stronger than the world's criticism. Ladies and gentlemen, hear me. Validation is not proof of your worth. Your worth was already inside you before anyone noticed, before anyone applauded, before anyone cared. Stop letting their silence make you feel invisible. Stop letting their ignorance make you feel small. Stop letting their opinion make you question your destiny. The illusion of validation is this. You think you need it to move, but in reality, you only need belief. Not their belief, your belief. So today I challenge you, stop waiting for someone to clap. Stop waiting for the green light. Stop waiting for the crowd to roar. Clap for yourself. Give yourself permission. Create your own validation. Because when you stop chasing them and start believing in you, everything changes. You'll stop being drained by disappointment. You'll stop being manipulated by opinions. You'll rise, not because they said you could, but because you decided you would. That is freedom. That is strength. That is the end of the illusion. So the next time you feel yourself longing for applause, remind yourself, I don't need their validation. I have my own. I am enough. And that, my friends, is the kind of belief that builds champions. Ladies and gentlemen, let me lay it down for you. No one will ever care about your dreams as much as you do. Not your parents, not your friends, not your partner, not your boss. No one. That dream burning in your heart, that vision you see when you close your eyes at night, it was given to you, not to them. They can't feel it the way you do. They can't see it the way you see it. They can't carry it the way you must carry it. And yet, too many people make the same mistake. They wait. They wait for someone else to care enough to push them. They wait for someone else to say, I believe in you. They wait for approval, for permission, for support. And while they wait, the dream inside them withers. But let me tell you something raw and real. If you keep waiting for someone else to fuel your fire, you'll be waiting forever. No one is coming to rescue your dream. No one is coming to hand you a map, a guarantee, a shortcut. That responsibility belongs to you and you alone. This is your life, your vision, your responsibility. Own it. Stop outsourcing your passion. Stop expecting others to clap for you, to validate you, to keep you moving. Because the truth is, most people are too busy with their own lives. They're chasing their own dreams, fighting their own battles, wrestling with their own fears. They don't have the energy to carry yours too. And listen, that's not a bad thing. That's reality. And once you embrace it, it becomes your power. Because if no one else is responsible for your dream, that means no one else can stop it either. So let me ask you, how much do you really want it? How badly are you willing to fight for it? How far are you willing to go when nobody is watching, when nobody is clapping, when nobody cares? Because those moments, those quiet, lonely moments, that's where dreams are either killed or forged into reality. Every great entrepreneur, every athlete, every artist, every leader you admire, at some point they were alone with their vision. No applause, no spotlight, no one believing in them, just them, their dream, and the choice to either quit or keep going. And you're facing the same choice. You can sit around and hope someone else lights your fire, or you can strike the match yourself. Here's the truth. Your dream doesn't need a committee. It doesn't need consensus. It doesn't need the world to agree. It needs you, your discipline, your persistence, your refusal to quit. And when you decide to own your dream, something shifts. You stop begging for permission. You stop waiting for signs. You stop relying on external applause. You create your own momentum. You build your own energy. You become unstoppable. Think about it. How many dreams have died because someone listened to the wrong voice? A teacher who said, "You're not talented." A parent who said, "Be realistic." A friend who laughed and said, "That'll never work." Too many people buried their vision because they let someone else's doubt speak louder than their own belief. Don't let that be you. This is your dream. Protect it. Guard it. Fight for it. Even when people don't understand. Even when they don't support you. Even when they call you crazy. Especially when they call you crazy. Because here's the truth. Every revolutionary idea sounds crazy until it works. Every breakthrough, every invention, every movement that changed the world was once ridiculed, rejected, resisted. But the dreamers kept going anyway. Why? Because they owned their dream. They didn't need the world to carry it. They carried it themselves. So I challenge you, stop waiting. Stop hoping. Stop handing over your destiny to other people's opinions. Take responsibility, stand tall, say to yourself, "This is my dream. It was given to me, and I will see it through." Say it until you believe it. Believe it until you act on it. Act on it until it becomes real. Ladies and gentlemen, your dream is not out there. It's in you. And it will not come alive because they believe in it. It will come alive because you do. So own it, live it, fight for it. Because if you don't, no one else will. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that most people don't want to hear. There will be times in your journey when you must stand alone. Yes, alone. No cheerleaders, no applause, no one clapping for you. Just you, your dream, and the silence of the world around you. And in that silence, you will face a choice. Will you crumble or will you rise? See, too many people depend on others to keep them going. They say, "I'll keep working as long as people support me," or "I'll keep pushing as long as people notice me." But what happens when the support disappears? What happens when nobody notices? Most quit. Most give up. Most walk away. But not you. Not anymore. Because here's the truth. The strongest people, the real champions, the ones who change their lives and the lives of others, they learned how to stand tall in the silence. They learned how to keep showing up when nobody cared. They learned how to fight for their future when no one else believed. And that, my friends, is strength. Strength is not proven when the crowd is cheering. Strength is proven when the stadium is empty. Strength is not found when everyone is shouting your name. Strength is forged in the quiet mornings, the late nights, the lonely hours, where it's just you and your grind. Those are the moments that separate the talkers from the doers, the pretenders from the warriors, the weak from the unstoppable. You must understand, it is not the applause that makes you strong. It is the discipline. It is the commitment. It is the fire inside you that refuses to die even when the world goes silent. So if you ever feel like no one is watching, good. That's your test. That's your training ground. That's where you build the kind of strength that doesn't depend on anyone else. Think about it. A tree doesn't grow its deepest roots when the sun is shining and the weather is perfect. No. It grows its deepest roots during the storms, during the winds, during the harshest nights. And that's exactly what standing alone will do for you. It will force your roots to grow deep. It will make you unshakable. And listen, standing alone doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're forgotten. It doesn't mean you're unworthy. It means you're being prepared. It means life is testing you. It means destiny is asking you, how bad do you want this? Will you still fight when no one's watching? Will you still stand when no one's clapping? And if your answer is yes, if you stand tall in those lonely moments, you will become unstoppable. Because here's the truth. When you can stand alone, you can stand anywhere. When you can fight without applause, you can fight through anything. When you can keep going without recognition, you become a force that nothing can break. So stop fearing loneliness. Stop fearing silence. Stop fearing the absence of applause. Let it mold you. Let it sharpen you. Let it build you into someone who doesn't need the world's approval to keep moving. Say it with me. I don't need the crowd. I don't need the applause. I don't need the spotlight. I will stand. I will rise. I will keep going, alone if I must. Because one day, when you've fought through the silence, when you've survived the storms, when you've kept walking while others gave up, you'll look back and realize that those lonely moments were the very foundation of your strength. And by then, you won't just be standing alone. You'll be standing strong, unshakable, unstoppable, unbreakable. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. What do you do when nobody believes in you? What do you do when people laugh at your dream? When they call you crazy? When they roll their eyes and say, that will never work? I'll tell you what you do. You believe anyway, because the truth is this. The world will not always cheer for you. In fact, many times the world will doubt you, mock you, and even hope you fail. And if your belief in yourself is not stronger than their doubt, you will quit before you ever begin. Think about the greatest minds, the innovators, the leaders, the artists, the entrepreneurs who changed history. Do you think they had the luxury of universal belief and applause when they started? No, most of them were doubted. Many were rejected, some were ridiculed, but they pressed on anyway. Why? Because they had one thing that the critics, the doubters, the naysayers could never take away: self-belief. Let me tell you the truth. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You don't even need most people to believe in you. You just need one person, and that person is you. Because when you believe in yourself, when you hold on to your vision with unshakable conviction, the opinions of others lose their power. Their doubt becomes noise. Their laughter becomes fuel. Their rejection becomes redirection. But when you don't believe in yourself, every opinion becomes a chain. Every criticism becomes a cage. Every doubt becomes a wall blocking your path. So hear me clearly. Your self-belief is the foundation of everything. If you believe you can, you will find a way. If you believe you can't, you will find an excuse. And I know, it's not easy. Believing in yourself when nobody else does feels lonely. It feels heavy. It feels like the whole world is against you. But listen carefully. That's the very moment when greatness is born. Because when you stand in that fire and still declare, "I will do this. I will not quit. I will not surrender," you build a strength that nothing can destroy. Self-belief is not arrogance. It's not pretending you're perfect. It's not denying your weaknesses. No. It's the quiet, unshakable confidence that says, "I have what it takes to figure this out. I have the resilience to keep going. I have the courage to rise again." And let me give you a powerful truth. When you start believing in yourself, something amazing happens. Slowly, others begin to believe too. At first, they doubt you, then they watch you, then they respect you, then they follow you. But it all begins with you. Nobody believed in Edison when he failed 1,000 times. Nobody believed in Oprah when she was told she wasn't fit for television. Nobody believed in Walt Disney when he was fired for lacking imagination. But they didn't stop. They believed in themselves. And because of that, the world eventually believed too. So if right now you feel like no one sees you, no one supports you, no one claps for you, good. That's your test. That's your training. That's life asking you, do you believe in you? And your answer must be yes. Say it with me. Even if nobody believes, I believe. Even if nobody claps, I will fight. Even if nobody supports me, I will carry my dream until it comes alive. Because one day, when you've built what they said was impossible, when you're standing on the stage they said you'd never reach, the same people who doubted you will whisper, "I always knew they'd make it." But you'll know the truth. You didn't succeed because they believed in you. You succeeded because you believed when no one else did. So don't quit. Don't surrender. Don't let their doubt drown your fire. Believe in yourself. Stand tall. Keep going. Because when the world doubts you, and you still choose to believe, that's when you become unstoppable. Ladies and gentlemen, let's face the truth. You are going to fail. Not once, not twice, but many times. And that's not something to fear, it's something to embrace. Because failure is not the end. Failure is not a wall. Failure is not a dead end. Failure is a stepping stone, a teacher, a lesson, a necessary chapter in the story of success. But here's the problem. Most people don't see it that way. Most people treat failure like a tombstone. They fail once and they bury their dream. They fail twice and they bury their confidence. They fail 3 times and they bury themselves alive under the weight of regret. But champions see failure differently. Champions know that every stumble brings them closer to strength. Champions know that every fall is an opportunity to rise stronger. Champions don't quit at the first sign of resistance. They lean into it because they know resistance is proof that they're moving forward. Think about it. Every great success story you admire is built on a mountain of failures. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before he lit the world with electricity. Michael Jordan missed more shots than most players ever take, but those misses sharpened his game until he became the greatest. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before she created a story that touched the hearts of millions. What if they had stopped at failure number 1, failure number 5, failure number 10? The world would never know their names. So I ask you, how many failures will it take before you give up? Or better yet, how many failures will it take before you realize that quitting is the only true failure? Failure is not final unless you stop trying. Let that sink in. Failure is not your enemy. It's your coach. It's your mentor. It's the fire that burns away weakness and leaves only resilience behind. But here's the secret. Failure only becomes your stepping stone when you get back up. You can't stay on the ground. You can't wallow in self-pity. You can't let the sting of defeat convince you that you're not worthy. No, wipe the dust off your face, square your shoulders, and rise again. Say it with me. I will fail, but I will not quit. I will stumble, but I will stand again. I will fall, but I will rise stronger. Every failure carries a lesson. Sometimes the lesson is patience. Sometimes it's strategy. Sometimes it's humility. Sometimes it's persistence. But every lesson brings you closer to the version of yourself that is capable of winning. And let me remind you, failure humbles you, yes, but it also builds you. It strips away arrogance. It reveals character. It tests how much you really want. The dream. Because if one failure is enough to break you, then you never wanted it badly enough. But if you keep going, if you keep rising, failure becomes the foundation under your feet. The very stone you once tripped over becomes the stone you step on as you climb higher. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. Failure is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your comeback. Every great comeback is fueled by the ashes of failure. Every great victory tastes sweeter because of the battles lost along the way. So don't fear failure. Fear giving up. Fear living a life of regret because you were too scared to try again. Fear reaching the end of your life and realizing you never even gave yourself the chance to succeed. The path to greatness is not a straight line. It's crooked. It's messy. It's filled with setbacks, mistakes, and moments when you want to quit. But those who keep walking, those who embrace failure as fuel, they are the ones who make it. So the next time you fail, and you will, don't ask, why? Me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Don't cry, it's over. Say, this is just the beginning, because failure is not a stop sign. Failure is a stepping stone, and every stone you step on takes you closer to the summit of your dream. So, rise. Keep moving. Keep failing forward. Because one day, when you reach the top, you'll look back and realize that failure didn't stop you. It carried you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you of something powerful. Your life is not just about you. Yes, you heard me right. Every action you take, every decision you make, every victory you win, every failure you rise from, it all creates ripples. And those ripples don't stop with you. They spread. They move outward. They touch people you may never even meet. You think your fight is just your fight, but it's not. Your fight is a light. And when you stand tall in the face of fear, when you push forward through the pain, when you refuse to quit, even when everything inside you screams to stop, someone is watching. Someone is learning. Someone is being inspired. Maybe it's your child, who learns what resilience looks like by watching you keep going. Maybe it's your friend, who finds hope again because they see you refusing to give up. Maybe it's a stranger who stumbles across your story and thinks, if they can do it, maybe I can too. That's the ripple effect of courage. Courage is contagious. Just as negativity spreads, just as fear multiplies, courage also moves like wildfire. When you step into your power, when you live boldly, when you dare to chase your dream, it gives permission for others to do the same. Think about history. Every great movement began with one person brave enough to stand, even when no one else would. One person's courage became the spark. That spark became a flame. That flame became a fire. And soon an entire generation was lit with hope. That is the ripple effect. But let me be clear. This is not about being perfect. It's not about never falling. It's not about looking flawless. No. The ripple effect of courage is not born in perfection. It's born in perseverance. When people see you stumble and rise, fail and fight, break and rebuild, that's what inspires them. Not your highlight reel, but your resilience. Not your polish, but your persistence. And that means this. Every time you choose to keep going, you are not just changing your life. You are planting seeds in the lives of others. Seeds of faith, seeds of strength, seeds of courage. But here's the question. What kind of ripples are you sending? Because make no mistake, You are influencing people whether you realize it or not. With your words, with your actions, with your energy, you're creating waves. So ask yourself, are my ripples filled with doubt, negativity, and fear? Or are my ripples filled with hope, strength, and courage? Because when you rise, others rise with you. When you shine, you light the way. When you lead, others follow. This is why your courage matters so much. Not just for your dream, not just for your success, but for everyone around you. You don't even know whose life you're touching, whose path you're opening, whose fire you're igniting. Say it with me. My courage creates ripples. My fight inspires others. My strength is bigger than me. And that's the truth. You are not just living for yourself. You are building a legacy that will outlive you. A legacy that will echo in the lives you touched, the people you inspired, the generations you lifted. So the next time you feel tired, the next time you feel like quitting, the next time you whisper, "Does this even matter?" Remember the ripple effect. Remember that someone, somewhere, needs your example. Someone is waiting for you to prove that it's possible. And when you rise, you don't rise alone. You rise carrying everyone your ripples will touch. That's the power of courage. That's the ripple effect. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the moment of truth. We've ripped away the lies, faced the harsh realities, and uncovered the power within you. But now the question stands before you like a mountain. What are you going to do about it? Because here's the truth. Knowledge means nothing without action. Inspiration fades if it's not followed by discipline. Motivation dies if it's not fed by persistence. You don't need another speech. You don't need another book. You don't need another person to pat you on the back and say, "You can do it." You already know what to do. The only question is, will you do it? No more excuses. No more waiting for the perfect time. No more saying, "Someday." Someday is a myth. Someday is a trap. Someday is the graveyard where dreams go to die. The only time you have is now. So stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for applause. Stop waiting for the world to care. They don't. And that's your freedom. Because if they don't hold your dream, they can't stop it either. This is your life, your story, your fight, your destiny. Own it. Control your mouth. Speak life, speak power, speak possibility. Control your mind. Focus on growth, on solutions, on vision. Control your emotions. Rise above the chaos. Choose gratitude. Choose strength. Control your money. Stop being a slave. Start being a master. And when you master these four, you will no longer drift through life. You will drive it. You will no longer live by default. You will live by design. But listen, the road ahead will not be easy. You will face storms. You will face resistance. You will face doubt, both from others and from yourself. But remember this, every champion was once a contender who refused to quit. And now it's your turn. Stand tall. Lift your head. Look yourself in the mirror and declare, "This is my time. This is my life. I will not wait. I will not quit. I will take control and I will rise." Say it until it burns in your soul. Say it until it shakes the ground beneath your feet. Say it until doubt has no choice but to flee. Because here's the ultimate truth. Nobody else is going to do this for you. Nobody else is going to fight your battles. Nobody else is going to build your dream. That responsibility is yours, and yours alone. And that's not a burden. That's a blessing. Because it means your destiny is not in their hands. It's in yours. So what are you going to do? Sit back, play it safe, and watch your life slip away, or rise up, take action, and build the future you were born to live? The clock is ticking. The world is waiting. Your story is being written right now, and the pen is in your hand. Write it with courage. Write it with fire. Write it with relentless belief. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your final call. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Not when it's convenient. Now, take back your life. Ignite your fire. Live boldly. Dream fiercely. Fight relentlessly. And when you do, when you give everything you've got, when you refuse to quit, you will discover the truth. You didn't just survive. You didn't just exist. You lived. You created. You conquered. Now go. This is your time. Take control. Take action. Take back your life.